Hi, I'm Aiman, and welcome back to one of my auto repair videos. In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove and replace the spark plug from a Honda Civic 2010, which is the same as 2006-2011. Even though it's fairly easy, a mechanic might want to charge you arm and leg to replace this. Now, like I said before, it's easy, but you might want to take some precaution when, for example, tightening the spark plug, because this is an aluminum engine, and if you over-tighten it, it can ruin the entire thing. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Right now we're dealing with a 4-cylinder engine, so it should take around 15 to 30 minutes. Each of these should take maybe 2 to 5 minutes, maybe 2 if you're more experienced with it. But for now, let's get to it. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to separate the wire harness from the ignition coil. And that's just a simple clip that you press on and then just wiggle it out. There we go. The next step is to take off this bolt right here. I think that's 10 millimeter. So right now, you don't need power tools, but I'm going to use my Milwaukee just to show it off. Alright. And, by the way, hold on. You should probably place a towel under it so that we don't lose the nut. There we go. For these ones, you probably don't have to worry because there's already a guard under. And if it doesn't work, then I'm just going to tighten it, loosen it by hand. There we go. There is the nut. Next step, I will delete that there and there. Alright, next step is to take off the ignition coil. That's simply finagled out. So that is what the ignition coil looks like. Alright, now let's take a look inside. That is where the spark plug is. Alright. So in order to take out the spark plug, you need a special socket right here. This is a 5/8 inch socket, and it's a bit of a wobbly joint right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it, and we're going to insert it. So we're going to rotate it a bit to make sure that it fits into the spark plug. Okay? So it shouldn't move around. And now we're going to take a wrench. We're going to use a ratchet wrench to loosen it. Alright, we're going to do it from this side so that we can get a bit more leverage. I just need to get it fit on. Okay. So it's loose now. We're just going to loosen it a bit more so I can take it out by hand. Now that it's loose, I'm going to take this off and remove it by hand. Alright. There we go. So I should mention something, is that when you're pulling it out, this socket is usually magnetic. So you can see that it will stick to it. So when I put this in fully, it shouldn't fall out. Now sometimes it might be a bit weak, so just keep out for that. But here is the spark plug. While we're here, let's check and compare the new and the original part. So if you look on the part, there's actually a number right here. So it says1ZFR6K-11S, and as you can see on the top here, the part number is the same. Now, this is for a Honda Civic 2010. If it's a different year, you might have to check on the part to make sure that's the right number. But for now, I think we're good. So, these you can actually get on Amazon for around $10 a piece. But we got these from Advanced Auto Parts because we wanted to make sure that these weren't knockouts from China, you know. And we also want to make sure that it didn't get broken during shipping, because these are Iridium and they come pre-gapped, which means that the gap on the spark plug right here between the conductor and the ground is I think for this one it's 0.044. So when you compare these two, they should be relatively the same, but this one might be a bit off. Alright, so talking about the gap on the spark plug, it's important that's the right amount, because The spark plugs are only, so this one is supposed to originally only last around 100,000 miles. Now, this car has around 220,000 miles on it, and it hasn't been replaced in that time. So, it's not that we're cheap. Maybe we've been influenced by Uncle Use, who has like 300,000 mile cars, and he's never replaced the spark plug. And you know, some people say that the spark plug, the gap might widen as the mileage increases, that it affects the gas mileage. And some people say that it doesn't. So it's really up to what you think. But right now we have a pre-gapped spark plug, and that's good. Oh, by the way, for Iridium ones and Platinum ones, you can't re-gap. You can't change their gap because they're Platinum and Iridium. You might break them. But for copper ones, I'm not sure if this is copper, but for copper ones, you can re-gap them. Alright, so you really don't have to do this, but while we're here, we might as well take our air compressor and clear the place where the spark plug would be of debris. And that way, it's not going to contaminate anything that the spark plug would do. And you should see that it looks a bit cleaner and without debris. Now we're replacing the spark plug. Now when we're inserting a spark plug, some people say, most people recommend not to put anti-seize on the spark plug. Part of it is because they don't want it to drip down onto the gap. But my dad says that my dad wants to put just a tiny dab on it because anti-seize prevents seizing, galling, and corrosion. So we're just going to put a tiny little dab on it, maybe a thin amount. There we go. Now we're going to put it back in. When we put it back in, we're going to take the socket that we used to take it out, and because it's magnetic, we should be able to stick it right in the center and make sure that when we try to lower it, it doesn't fall out. Hold on. Okay. Alright, so we spread it just a little bit, you know, to reinforce that it doesn't fall into the gap. Now we're going to lower it into the place that's going. Or into the engine, I should say. When we're in there, we're going to twist it in by hand. Now, if you face some resistance, you want to pull it out and restart because you don't want to cross threads, especially with an aluminum engine like this. When you finally hit the point where it stops you, which... Alright, at this point, I can't twist it anymore. I have no idea what that was. Sounds like... When you get to the point where you can't twist it anymore by hand, now you can take a wrench, and they say that the tip for this is usually half of a full turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to... Hold on. Wait. We're going to use this one. Okay. We're going to do half a turn. So first we're going to remember the starting position. So half a turn should end here. Okay. It's very tight. I don't want to risk it. Alright, so what you saw just now is that you don't have to turn it a whole half turn, just a half turn, because you might already tighten it to a point where it doesn't need to be a whole half turn. So in order to help with this, you might want to use a smaller wrench. This one would be best because if you use a bigger wrench like this, you're much more likely to put more force than you need to, and you might end up breaking the whole thing. So it's best to use a small wrench to tighten it. You also saw that my hand, I was straining a bit there in order to tighten it, and part of that was straining, but part of it also was because I didn't want to over tighten it, because like I said before, it's aluminum, it can break easily. So right now, what you can also do is you can take a torque wrench. The torque for this is 18 foot-pounds, I think we checked, and for an SI it's 13 foot-pounds. So they also say that after a few days you can come back and re-torque it. if it comes loose. So we already torqued it off camera, so now we're going to do the next one. Alright, so we're actually going to torque it right here. So this is already set to 18 foot-pounds. Alright, so as you can see that, you might not have heard it, but there was a click that indicated that was torqued. Alright, so all we have to do now is take the ignition coil, put it back on, make sure that the bolt goes through the hole. Make sure that goes all the way down. Put the harness on. It should snap on. You heard that click. And you just put the nut back on. You can always just... It only has to be a snug fit. You only need to snug fit. So, I guess if we use our Milwaukee, why not? Alright. So that's snug fit. And now we're going to move on to the next one. But you should already get the idea. Alright, so earlier I said that this job should take you 2 to 5 minutes if you know how to do it. So what we're going to try to do is do this in one sitting and see how that works. And if at any point in the video we encounter a problem, then we'll stop there. Alright, let's get started. Alright. First we're going to loosen it. Put the nut in there. Take the clip out, take the ignition coil out. That's what it looks like. Oh yeah, I already showed it. We're going to take this and we're going to loosen it. If it doesn't work, we're going to use the wrench. I mean, for loosening it, you can use a big wrench because, use more force on it. Oh wait. That's going to use the time right there. For loosening it, you can use a big wrench because you're taking it out. Alright, make sure that it's locked in place. Now we're going to take it out. Alright. If you want to, use compressed air after this. But, for sake of the 2-minute time limit, we're going to try not to do that. I mean, compressed air only takes like 5 seconds though. Oh. It looks like the magnet didn't catch on. There we go. That's the spark plug. I guess while we're here, use compressed air. It looks like it's approaching the 2-minute mark, but I apologize if anyone's ears was ruined by that. I'm already deaf in one ear though, so now we're going to take another. I think it's already past the 2-minute mark, but 3 minutes isn't bad. We're going to take a new one, put a dab do ya. Maybe a bit too much. I'm just going to put that here. Okay. Now we're going to take the socket, put it on. That's where the anti-seize is. Make sure it's magnetic. And now, we're going to lower it in there gently. Okay, I don't feel any resistance, so it should be good. Like I said before, now that it's stopped, we're going to use a small wrench. We're going to start from here so that we can apply more force. Alright. Oh, ratchet. So, half is right here. Okay, it already feels tight at this point, so I'm just going to do an eighth of a turn, and then we're going to torque it. Okay. Now to torque it. There's the socket. Now it's probably 3 minutes. So I guess my speed run is already not going so well. Let me make sure this is tight. And now, it's torqued. And I guess we're just going to include it, but put the ignition coil back on. Ignition coil, not ignition. And put the bolt back on. Alright, I think by now it's about I think by now it's about 3.5 minutes. There we go. So my dad told me that was around 4 minutes, but like I said, 2 to 5 minutes. It might have gone a bit faster if I wasn't talking. But now we're going to do the other two, and I'll come back and chat with you a bit. Alright, so we finished all 4 spark plugs. Now we're worried about the torque. The standard is around 18 foot-pounds, and 18 foot-pounds isn't really that much, but we're finding it a bit hard to set it to 18 foot-pounds. So we decided to set it to 200 inch-pounds, which is basically around 17 foot-pounds. And besides, some of the extension might lose some of the torque, so it might be just a bit under 17 foot-pounds. So right now you can see that when we have it set to that much, we can torque it. Now, under-torquing is better than over-torquing because over-torquing can break it, but we can always come back later and re-torque it if it's under-torqued. But be careful, especially if you're working with cheap tools like this Pittsburgh brand. Especially on the lower torques, it might not work as well. You might not even hear the click. So just be wary if you're using something like this. Be more preferable if you're using something like this. Just to clarify, these are the same brand. They're both Pittsburgh, as you can see here. This one is a 3/8 inch socket, and it uses foot-pounds. This one, however, is tinier. It uses a 1/4 inch and uses inch-pounds. So they're a bit different. This one's more precise because it uses inch-pounds. So this one's maybe a bit more preferred than this one because for larger wrenches, you're bound to put more force on it. But it's really up to your judgment because in the past, people have removed and replaced spark plugs without torque wrenches for years. Alright, so now we're going to put the ignition coils back on. While I do that, I'm going to talk a bit. So the next video, so first what we're going to do is we're going to put these back on, and then we're going to do a bit of a test drive to make sure that all of these are working. And then after that, we're going to come back and we're going to do another video. This time, we're going to do it on replacing the rear shock absorbers, or struts, for the suspension. Now, last week we actually replaced the front struts for the Honda Civic, and you can go watch that video if you want to. But, you know, you're supposed to replace it, I think. I mean, we've been driving this for about 100,000 miles, and right now the car is at 200,000 miles. So it's probably best at this time that we replace some of the worn down parts like the shock absorbers. So stay tuned for those videos, and I guess that's really it I have to say. Now I'm going to put the nuts back on. Let's see, what else can I say? Oh, good thing we have the towel down here because it caught that bolt. I mean nut. I think really that's it. Okay. Alright, Milwaukee, even though it's not required. Alright, there we go. And we're done. Alright, so moment of truth. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't work, that's going to be pretty embarrassing. All you have to do is just start the engine. Alright, let's go see. Alright, appears to look good and sound good to me. So I think, for now, our job is done. I'm Aiman, and thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and look at other videos on EyeOnAiman, especially the auto repair videos and the videos on the Honda Civic. But for now, stay tuned, and I'm Aiman, signing out. Peace.